change over time, be a world.
So, quick stream before I go into work. Happy Friday. It is Friday, and I was just watching Asmongold's stream, and I used to not like Asmongold for various reasons, because he's kind of a dirty individual and kind of gross, to be honest. Um, but he does make good content, and I've always said he's pretty good. He's pretty entertaining, I guess. Hey, excuse me. Hey, Isabel. I'm all right. My wife is still at her parents' house after the surgery, the day before yesterday, which went really well. Um, the doctors told her not to really probably walking up and down the stairs to our third floor apartment probably wasn't the best thing for her, and so we decided. And her mom wanted to take care of her, which I thought was really good. It was a chance to get her a break, because I know her mom will really pamper her. So she stayed at her mom's after the surgery, and then last night she called me and said she was going to stay over there, and because her best friend lives up there as well, and so her best friend came over and was able to hang out with her. So yeah, I'm doing good. My wife's doing really good. She feels so much better. It's great. Anyways, I was talking about Asmongold's stream. If you guys haven't watched it, it's titled "This is the new expansion. Asmongold reacts to the WoW 10.0 leak." So actually, I was kind of going through this. Actually, let's see if we can find the article. It's always fun to read these leaks, I'm I'm always congested in the morning. I think this is part of getting old. So, okay, so as we go reading this, but here's the leak. Here's the actual leak taken from a private game dev Discord last night. Now, this is interesting to me. Like, I like how his thing says banned. Yeah, it is like a Guild Wars 2 UI. Yeah. It's an add-on. It's an add-on called Guild Wars 2 UI. Yeah, this is retail Shadowlands, and yeah, it's a Guild Wars 2 add-on. I love it. It's fantastic. You can see, you've got your character window, titles. You've got your abilities. Um, you've got your fire talent abilities, your PvP talents, at whatever general abilities, trade skills, and currency, and of course your reputation. Yeah. But yeah, let's take a look at this. I mean, I think it's really interesting that I always love looking at these leaks, and we know that Blizzard is really trying to save face. I mean, they don't look good. Their subs are way down. I mean, to me, the best thing that Blizzard could do, but I just don't think they will do, is to basically just create a new game. I would love to see them make World of Warcraft 2. Just make World of Warcraft 2 and just move on from all the history and all the crap. They need a clean slate. Wipe the slate clean. Develop, create a new. They need to do a new game engine, because the game engine they have is so bloated. We see it now that I've been streaming retail WoW the last couple days. I've seen screen freezes. I've seen just a lot of lag going different zones, and it's not my computer. My computer is actually pretty damn fast. I mean, it's not the fastest computer in the world, but I have an Intel i9 9900K processor. I've got a 2600 Super video card, not the best video card in the world, but it's a good video card. And I've got 32 gig of RAM, so really shouldn't have any issue running, World of Warcraft. But I think if Blizzard really, to me, if they could just put all this World of Warcraft and say, we had a great ride, if they want to keep doing like, the classic stuff, like classic Wrath of the Lich King, whatever, that's fine. But stop developing for the retail version, because to me, the retail version is so far away removed from what really the game was. They've really fucked it up, for lack of a better word, in my opinion. I mean, I love certain things in retail, but I hate just as many things in retail as I love, and it shouldn't be like that. You should like more things about a game than dislike. But I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll. I don't think they have. I don't think that Activision will give them the budget to just say, hey, let's develop a whole new World of Warcraft. But I think that makes the most sense. Anyway, so here's the leak. New expansion is called the Dragon Isles, which I'm going to say right off the bat, you can really never go wrong with dragons. I mean, dragons are such a popular thing, and they've been overdone to the point of ridiculousness. But still, having said all of that, you know, dragon themed video games is probably the most common theme of a video game. Like seriously, like the most common, you know, how many games can we have, fantasy anyway, fantasy games. Let me preface that with saying it's the most common theme for a fantasy video game. Okay. Anyway, so the Dragon Isles, but I mean, everybody loves dragons. Who doesn't love dragons? Dragons. I love dragons. I have on my desk right here in front of me. I've got a dragon. Here I wish I could send a picture. Let's see if I can do it really quick. And I've got a collection of dragons somewhere around here. Literally, like these little rubber dragons. I've probably got about a dozen or so of those in the closet. Anyways, all marketing being put aside, the tagline Azeroth has awoken. New zone. The Dragon Isles, new race, the Black Dragons. Now we don't. This is just a leak, but I've always said every time they create a new race that a lot of people always want a dragonkin type of race, right? It's very common for people to want that. I think I don't know how they're going to do the Black Dragons. I hope that what they do with the Black Dragons, if this, and again, I'm talking about this leak as if it's real, but we know that this is like. I mean, lately the leaks have been fairly accurate. There's been something to the leaks. It's not, we haven't seen too many leaks that have come out that have been, at least I haven't, that have been covered by, that have been completely false. There's usually some truth to them. But I hope if they do a new race called Black Dragons, that they do them like the Worgen, meaning you have a dragon form, and then you would have a humanoid form. That's what I would like to see. Maybe, and the dragon form would be the predominant form, just like how Worgens, when you're in combat fighting and stuff, you're a Worgen, but you have the ability to shapeshift into a humanoid form if you just want to like RP walk around or something. It'd be super cool if you could do the same thing for this race. New system, world shaping. I'm not really sure what that's all about. End of Shadowlands in the fight. And I haven't played Shadowlands hardly at all, so I don't really know much about Shadowlands. So I do know who the jailer is, though. In the fight with the jailer, Azeroth is ruptured. We beat the jailer and save the planet, but there's consequences. Some stay a while and listen. Diablo. Events after the fight describe the state of Azeroth. Magni reverts back from diamond form. I don't even know who Magni is. Pre-expansion event begins to put 9.2.5 pre-expansion event being put together is huge. Okay, so right now we're on 9.1? Is it 9.1.5, I think, is what we're on right now, 9.1. So if they're putting together a pre-expansion, it's not too far away. Lots of reused events like Earthquakes Evasions, but also a massive time-walking event that's being designed as a mini-season of mastery across lots of Azeroth-centric dungeon raids. Dev want players familiar with the history of Azeroth before 10.0. Okay. Praise Trogs, Quilboar. Oh god, I hate Quilboar. Mantid and Elemental Evasions across most of Kalimdor, Eastern Kingdoms, Northrend and Pandaria, New World Boss Garadon, and Son of Galakron. That I could see that. Okay, new expansion, 10.0 cinematic being put together is the biggest Blizzard ever produced. Entire cinematic team has been doing like this for over a year. That's kind of if you're working on one cinematic for over a year, it better be a hell of a good cinematic. I mean, but the Battle for Azeroth cinematic, I think, was the biggest one they'd done in a long time. All Shadowlands pre-rendered cinematics were scrapped. The whole team moved on to this. It's a love letter to Azeroth. Mirrors the original WoW launch cinematic and Azeroth being born. That's I think So the next game in Unreal 5. Yeah, I don't think they should do it in Unreal Engine 5. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Unreal Engine 5 is great, and I love Unreal Engine 5. I'm a big fan, and I've been a fan of Unreal Engine since Unreal Tournament in 1999. I mean, I used to make levels using the level editor, the Unreal Ed. If you guys are unfamiliar with that. Do I have Unreal on my computer? Oh my god, if I don't, I need to install it and show you guys that sometime. That'd be a great video to walk through the Unreal Engine level editor. It's really fun. And I haven't done it, so I'd have to go back and spend some time, refamiliarizing myself with it. I might. So, oh my God, let's see. I might have it on my Google Drive. I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll look later. I know I've got the full Unreal Edition Game of the Year edition on CD, probably in my closet. But I'm pretty sure I could probably download it off the web somewhere. Usually, you can find Unreal. Unreal's such a popular game. So yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do it in Unreal Engine 5. I like Unreal Engine 5. The problem with Unreal Engine 5 is it's going to hit your PC fairly hard. The graphics are going to be the problem. The reason World of Warcraft was able to stay around as long as it has and be popular is that you have a very stylized art look, and it doesn't take a lot of resources to run World of Warcraft. Now they've bloated the game so much with just so many textures and so many zones and so many things, that it's got a big footprint. Like if you look at the size, like for example, if we look at I don't know if we'll be able to see it here easily, but if we go into World of Warcraft like classic, right? We go to the folder size. It's 1.81 gig. I wonder how they do that. So the data is different, right? Data, is there one? I wonder. Yeah, here we go. So if we look at the data for classic, I'm gonna guess it's around 15 gig. Let's see. Oh no, this is nothing here. Wow, US. Wondering how they're breaking down these data structures. Data folder as a whole, it should be huge. Yeah, 78 gigs. So where's all the actual data? We go WoW Classic Era US. Let's see. Maybe this is where all the. That's not it. How about just WoW US? Nope. Where is all the data? Huh. Well, at any rate, what I was going to say is the digital footprint of World of Warcraft retail is probably 3-4 times the size of. What's up, Chris? 3 or 4 times the size of Classic. They've continued to add on and on to it. And it's just become so bloated. And I don't know if I would want. And remember, like, if we talk about MMOs in general, like, is there an MMO out there that runs as smoothly as World of Warcraft? I challenge you to find any MMO where the character movement feels as smooth as it does in World of Warcraft. I challenge you to tell me an MMO that's as smooth as this. I mean, if I just like how smooth the character moves, right? How smooth the spells cast. Everything about WoW. Like, I mean, look at how smooth like the game. Just when I'm rotating the camera and everything, and I'm jumping. Well, this is now a flying mount, so I can't jump. But I really challenge you to find any MMO that runs as smoothly as World of Warcraft. I don't know of one. I really don't. And so my point being, I would hate to see them go away from the network stack that they use for their custom World of Warcraft game engine. What I would like to see them do is piggyback off of the technology they have in World of Warcraft to create a new game engine that can basically just handle a higher fidelity of graphical quality. I don't think going to Unreal Engine 5 would make the most sense for them, just simply because there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve there, and it's going to take them a little bit more time. Yeah, Unreal Engine is free until you make, I think, $100,000, and then you start paying a certain amount. I think it's like maybe 10% or something. So, like, if you made a game and your game makes $1 million, you might owe them $100,000, right? But if your game doesn't make at least $100,000, I think that's the way it used to be. I don't know if that's still the model that they use. Hold on a second. But cat was meowing in the background. He's really annoying sometimes. But I love that cat. But sometimes when I'm streaming, he hears me because I have the office shut, and he starts meowing at the door, going meow meow. But yeah, I mean, Unreal Engine 5, it's not free. I mean, it's once you start making a certain amount of money, you're going to pay them, but the subscription model of Unreal Engine is way better than that of Unity, in my opinion. But there's a lot more, ramp up time. There's a lot more like learning curve for them if they went with a completely different game engine. I think their best bet would be to continue to use like the networking technology and stack that they've developed for World of Warcraft, and then just create a better, like I said, an engine that can handle a better, quality of graphics. because I would hate to see them lose what they have with Unreal. I keep saying Unreal. I would hate to see them lose what they have with the smoothness and the feel. Because to me, one of the best things about WoW, one of the things that I always love when I step into World of Warcraft, is how the game feels, is how it turns, moves, jumps, spells. Everything feels so smooth, and I just don't see that in other games. Like Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 14 is really smooth. I think it feels similar. Um, Guild Wars 2 is smooth, but because of the stylized artwork of Guild Wars 2, um, I find that's another. I don't want to get on a huge tangent here. That's another topic for another time. Um, but yeah, I mean, if they went with Unreal Engine 5, it's not like I would be like pissed off because I do love Unreal Engine 5. But again, I just don't think they would ever do that because, like I said, the learning curve and the time it would take to ramp up and actually do something with Unreal Engine 5. I think if they went with Unreal Engine 5, it would be a completely different game because you wouldn't want to break away so much so that people feel like they're not playing Unreal. I keep saying Unreal. People feel like they're not playing World of Warcraft anymore. So if we get back to this, so new expect they're working on the cinematic. Obviously, as a result, all world souls are unique, and Azeroth's essence has indirectly shaped the planet for eons. That's interesting. Kind of. This reminds me so much of the book Rhapsody. And if you guys don't know, my Discord handle, my actual Discord name, handle is Rhapsody. I mean, my ID is Rhapsody. Um, and a lot of this reminds me of the book Rhapsody. If you guys haven't read Rhapsody, the book, I can highly, highly, highly recommend this novel here, Rhapsody by Elizabeth Hayden. I highly recommend you guys take a look at it if you like to read fantasy. But a lot of this stuff really reminds me of that book a little bit when we talk about world souls, when we talk about the essence of the planet has kind of shaped, the essence of Azeroth, the soul, I guess, of Azeroth has shaped the planet. Dragons are tied directly to Azeroth, who is sort of the dragon progenitor. So, that's, yeah, they all come from Azeroth. Once players reach the Dragon Isles, they work directly with Azeroth to reshape the world. So that must be something to do with this new system that they're saying world shaping. Story here is that the planet is taking a beating over the last couple of decades. It's having dire consequences for everyone living there. Azeroth is a character described sort of like Lulu from the Fifth Element, the supreme being with the mind of a child. Players need to help Azeroth to unlock her powers to heal the planet. I really like this storyline. I think this is a really cool. What engine are they using for Diablo 4? I'm sure Diablo. I haven't played Diablo 4. I'm sure it's a custom World WoW engine. Here, you can usually find it if you go to Diablo. If you go to like Diablo 4 wiki, usually they'll list the game engine on here. Typically, platform, release genres, models. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. They're not listing it here. I would guess it's a custom. Yeah. Yeah, so here we go. Is the Diablo 4 using the new Blizzard engine? And the response is yes, it is. It's a new engine with better zooming capability since the in-engine character interactions at close range. So it is a custom. I mean, most of Blizzard's games are all most of their like Diablo and World of Warcraft and stuff. They're all using their own custom engine. Yeah. Now, but I like this storyline. I like that they've gone with a very fantasy-esque twist. They've really pulled back and are doing more of a story like you'd read in a novel, and I think that's what all MMOs should strive to be. They should really be like you're reading a book. Like, like when you play like Final Fantasy, there's such a great story, and you play some of these other games, like when you play Skyrim. Like when you play Skyrim, you can envision Skyrim being a novel, right? And you're reading all about all these characters in Skyrim, the Brotherhood and the King and all these different kind of factions that are trying to recruit you into them. I mean, to me, if you want to make a good MMO, it should almost feel like you're reading a fantasy novel. Yeah, I've seen Ashes of Creation. I've seen the Unreal Engine 5 update, Isabel. Um, yeah, the Ashes of Creation, they're going to Unreal Engine 5. I think that's great. I'm not a big fan of Steven Sharif. I think he's kind of a shyster. I don't really have a lot of faith that Ashes of Creation will be a good game. I think they're going to be in development hell. Steven Sharif reminds me a little bit of Chris Roberts from Star Citizen, in that he's one of those people that's like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. but no one's ever saying, hey, slow down, slow your roll, get it under control, Steven. So I feel like that game is just going to fall into like development hell and probably not come out for like another 3 years just because of the person he is. And there's nothing wrong with trying to add all the stuff he's adding. And the ambitious nature of kind of the way he approaches Ashes is why people always say Ashes of Creation is a next gen MMO. But I actually challenged a guy on his YouTube channel and said, because he said in his video about Ashes of Creation that it's a next gen, and I was like, well, what makes you, why do you say that? Why do you say it's a next gen MMO? What makes a next gen MMO? I always hate that term. You know what I mean? Yeah, what makes it? A next generation of masculine is typically one that is developed to include features and gameplay that are dynamic and revolutionary. This is extremely vague, right? Okay, a next gen MMO is one that includes features and gameplay that are dynamic and revolutionary. I agree with the dynamic part. Next gen MMOs should have a lot of dynamic features in them. Guild Wars 2 was one of the first MMOs that really had beautiful dynamic events, right? Guild Wars 2 had dynamic questing, meaning that you could just walk by some area and somebody would be like, hey, town's under attack, would you like to help? It felt like a dynamic event. Also, Rift had dynamic events because Rifts were dynamic. Rift, it's a dynamic event, I think, of something that just happens in the world that you can choose to interact with, but you don't have to. The cool thing about Rift is the Rift would open up, and it would actually open up a general public. There was a public system built in where you could just it would quickly ask you if you wanted to join people in the area in a public group to tackle the Rift, which I thought was a great system, and that's a very dynamic type thing. Now, you talk about revolutionary, that's like, well, what's revolutionary? What's revolutionary? There anything. So, I hate it when people say this is a next gen MMO, right? Is that what it was? Reptilian? Yeah, yeah. But there was this great video, and what was it? And it was by oh man. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Let's see. I like that comment. It's really good. This comment was great. You are the worst Pantheon streamer I've seen. You just downed the game. For you, everything is ugly. Why do you make a video for this? This guy needs to work on his English. But maybe he's not an English speaking. Is his primary language. Where was it? This one.
Dust settles after Intrepid's huge announcement.
Okay, so this guy Narc does a lot of Ashes of Creation content. I think he's just trying to piggyback on Ashes. I think a lot of people are creating. I think a lot of YouTubers create channels based on a game that they really deep down inside don't really care that much about, or they do, but they don't really believe the shit they're selling you. I don't believe the shit this guy's selling. He's sitting here trying to make his channel and promote Ashes of Creation as if he loves Ashes of Creation, but then in the same thing, he bashes it in a way, saying that like Ashes of Creation is, where is it? He's got a video that says Ashes of Creation is very close to Arcade, almost too close. He's actually kind of bashing Ashes because we all know that Steven Sharif loves Arcade, right? So Ashes of Creation is kind of a ripoff of Arcade to a degree. But this guy in his video says,
"Hey, what up, boys?"
And he says Ashes of Creation just made the best decision possible because they went with Unreal Engine 5. I'm not sure if I really agree with that they made with the best decision possible. I think because of Ashes of Creation, because of the way they're making the game, like the graphical kind of fidelity style they're going with, I think Unreal Engine 5 is a good fit for them because they want a more kind of a realistic look. But when you look at when you look at the developer update for Ashes of Creation here, where they introduced Unreal Engine 5, what do? They throw in like the big snow system. Oh, pretty Unreal Engine 5 snow. I've never seen an Unreal Engine 5 video with a game that's going to use Unreal Engine 5 where they don't show you snow. Like it's like every single one because they think that's the one that looks the coolest, And don't get me wrong, I love Unreal Engine 5. But if you look at the character models, right? And this is the Unreal Engine 5 reveal. This is what it looked like when they did the Unreal Engine 5 reveal. and they're talking about the the system that does the luminous system for the lighting, and the system for the particles. And I can't remember what they're called right off the top of my head, but here you look at GM Steven. I mean, when you look at this, I mean, look at like the way the character model. This character doesn't belong in this game. I mean, you know what I mean? You have this character they created in whatever game engine they were using. I think they were using Unity, maybe? I can't remember. And I don't remember what game engine they were using. Maybe it was Unreal Engine 4. This character model doesn't even belong in this world. His legs are his waist and hips are too small for his upper body. He doesn't have the same graphical fidelity of everything else. His detail isn't as high. It's not as high quality graphics. He doesn't fit in this world. And so it's great you're going to go with Unreal Engine 5, but you're going to have to redo all your character models. You're going to have to redo all your character animations. I mean, that alone is going to take you 6 months at least just to do that. So a lot of people are saying, oh, it's great. They made with the best decision possible to go with Unreal Engine 5. That's fine. But you just set your game back probably a year at least. Now you've added at least another year of development to the game, which is already probably a couple years out. So Ashes Creation isn't coming out anytime soon. And if it does come out within the next 2 years, it's probably going to be riddled with bugs and issues. So I've commented on this video and I said, Ashes has never shown me anything that makes me feel like it's next gen. I've not seen any mechanics really in this game that have not been done before. I would love to see your reasoning behind why you feel this game is next gen. And did the Narc, the guy who made this video, even respond to my comment? Of course he didn't. The only response was this guy who said this. The stuff I've seen so far looks like a WoW clone with better graphics and maybe some more classes, spells, jobs, and so on. If combat stays the way it is, it may be an old school game, but not a next-gen game. So this guy completely 100% agrees with me. So I hate it when people toss around the next-gen moniker. Like, there's nothing about Ashes that's next-gen. Absolutely, I have not seen anything in it that's next-gen. They've got a lot of stuff that really comes from ArcAge. The whole like husbandry system of developing different animals and raising them. It really kind of comes from ArcAge. The whole like boating and shipping, a lot of that just comes straight out of ArcAge. So whatever. That's just another tangent. Do I think Pantheon is going to be good? I think. Hey, Christopher. Yeah, I think Pantheon is going to be great. I think Pantheon has, to me, the Pantheon has the chance to be the best MMO that's going to come out in the next like 5 years. My money's on Pantheon and the League of Legends MMO. Those two MMOs, I think, have the best chance to be something that's going to be really good. Pantheon's a niche MMO, so they're targeting a specific type of player, and that's good. That's what you should do. You need to target your niche, and you need to stay faithful and truthful to what you're doing. And I think that Pantheon will do that. I think the people behind Pantheon have a lot of passion about what they're doing, and they've never deviated too far. In fact, when Brad McQuaid died, I think that their focus became better. I think that they're focused. They're focused like a laser now. I think when Brad was there, because Brad's always been kind of that way. He's always been kind of wishy-washy. Again, I put Brad into the category of a Chris Roberts and where he's always talking grandiose, like, oh, we're gonna do all these things, but he's not a he who was it? Was it Steve Jobs or Steve Jobs was kind of like that, where Steve Jobs wanted to do everything, but you always need someone. You always need someone. You need to have a no man. There's always going to be someone who says, we're going to do this, that we're going to give you the world, but you got to have somebody that says no. You have somebody that's working with you that can recognize we can't do everything. Steven Sharif needs that someone. He doesn't have that someone. Chris Roberts with Star Citizen needs that someone. He doesn't have that someone. He doesn't have someone saying, no, we're not going to do this. Steven Sharif needs that person too. He doesn't have it. Pantheon doesn't need that. Pantheon, they know what they're targeting. They know what their audience is, and they're going that way. And that's why I have a lot of faith in Pantheon. League of Legends, I like the idea of it because I like some of the characters in League, and I think the art and the work that they've done and then the stories they've done are really top notch. And I think they have a great team behind them, and they've got tons of money. So, I have a lot of hope that League will be a good game, but it's so far off. We don't even know what it's really going to be like. My biggest fear for League of Legends is it'll be too much targeted for a younger player base, and it'll become too much of a kiddie game. I mean, to me, World of Warcraft has turned into a kiddie game. The longer WoW's out, the more it's turned towards like a mobile game. we were looking at yesterday, and I was playing WoW, and I looked at the auction house, and I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this crappy auction house? And it was just, it looked like an auction house I'd see on my phone. It looked like I was playing a mobile game, honestly, you know. So I didn't like that one bit. So, but yeah, I think Pantheon has a chance to be really good, and I'm hoping it's going to be really good. And it's the only MMO I've really dedicated, I've really pledged. You know, I've always bought pre-release packages and founder packs. I've always bought founder packs. I bought founder packs for Arcade. I've bought founder packs for Guild Wars 2, Black Desert. I mean, tons of MMOs. I've bought founder packs, right? But Pantheon, I've actually donated $500 to Pantheon. So I have the Black Rose pledge. So I've pledged $500. I've never, ever before a game's been released given that much money. So I think that'll show you how much I hope that the game, goes well, and how much that I think it has a good chance, to do well. So getting back to this leak for World of Warcraft next expansion. And again, I saw this because Asmongold did a video on it, so I'm not trying to steal Asmongold's thunder. You guys know I'm not a big YouTuber by any stretch of the imagination. But Asmongold, if you guys want to check out his video, was talking about it. And there's a funny thing in Asmongold's video where he basically says he had COVID for the last few days. And he goes, this is what happened. I stayed up till 6 a.m. jerking off. This is what he says. He's like, I stayed up till 6 a.m. jerking off, and then I didn't feel so good. And I'm like, maybe you jerked off too hard, or maybe you're not doing it right. But I was like, the fact that he said that, I made me laugh. It actually made me. I would never say that, but props to Asmongold for being whatever weird, being him, I guess. But his audience is a very young, non-intellectual audience, to be honest. But anyway, so if we get back to the new expansion, I like where they're going with the story of the Azeroth essence being something that can reshape the world. It's kind of like when you think of, like, when people talk about the planet Earth and they talk about Gaia, and Gaia is like a real kind of spirit, or a real kind of a real soul, and that the planet itself, that Earth itself, is a living and breathing entity, and that Gaia is that entity, and that entity can be hurt and can be healed. And you'll see that in a lot of books and novels, and this is really a direct kind of, a direct rip off of that to some degree, or, it's something that we've seen, many times before. But Azeroth is described as like a Lulu type character, like the fifth element, so you can bring with the mind of a child. So we need to help Azeroth learn how to heal itself. So the whole point of this next expansion could be us trying to help heal the planet, which I think is a neat story. Honestly, I like that. Players need to help her unlock her powers to heal the planet. She's in the temple on Dragon Isles with Thrall and Rathion, lots of Earthwater lore, as the three of them tried to do what Deathwing couldn't. Azeroth has her own talent tree, looks very much like old school. Oh! Okay, this is good. If Azeroth has an old school talent tree, maybe they're going to bring back old school talent trees for us. That's what needs to happen. World of Warcraft needs old school talent trees. We don't need the bullshit they have right now. The bullshit they have right now sucks, right? So if they're going to give Azeroth old school talent trees, like what we see from Classic, players can help her by training her via the tree. Then I hope the players have that too. The players should have that. So you paid £140 for Warhammer Eternal. Oh, and that soured you on pre-ordering. Isabel, it'll still take time because they're going to have to rework all the models. If they don't rework all the models and the art and the stuff that they've already done, Isabel, then it's not going to look right. So you're talking. I said it would add a year, which I think is completely fine. Is completely reasonable. You're looking at all the rework you have to do for the art assets and stuff, and depending on how their system is put together, right? Depending on how hard or easy or difficult it is to change, it shouldn't be too difficult, but it really depends on the tools they have. When you talk about Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, the tools they put in place for rapid application development, rapid application design of their art assets is what they were going for. That's why they developed their tools. That's why they spent over a year last year reworking a lot of that shit. Actually, probably last year and a half. And where Pantheon is right now is in a good place because they've got the rapid application development of their art assets, of their textures. I don't know, and we don't know if Ashes Creation has anything like that. We don't know how good their tools are. So when you say it's easy to work with, sure, it's easy to work with. But how easy is it for them to convert what they've already done into Unreal Engine 5, which has nothing to do with Unreal Engine 5. It has to do with how good are their tools, how good are their developers in getting that stuff transferred and converted. It's not as easy as just, oh, well, here's this asset. Okay, let's just save it as Unreal Engine 5. I mean, they're probably working with FBXs. They could be working with different types of, it's probably going to be an FBX, right? Like file extension. But it really depends on the tools. So, but even if they have good tooling, and even if it's easy, it is still going to take them like 6 months because they've got to go in and convert it all. They've got to place it in the world. They've got to. There's going to be some stuff that's going to be a little different with the sizing and the scale. So it's just not a one-to-one thing. Like you're just, oh, here it is. Let's go ahead and run 5. Press a button and done. It isn't that easy. Hey Ruby, what's up? Well, I was actually, yeah, we are going to level the mage here a little bit, but I wanted to talk. I just wanted to talk about. I'm sorry, Ruby. Don't be mad at me. I wanted to talk about the WoW leak here just for a few minutes, and then all these guys in the stream. Don't get mad at me because I'm catering to the people in the stream. I'm answering their questions. Oh, you can't keep everyone happy. Here, let's do this. Let's queue a dungeon. How much time do we have before I have to work? We've only got about 30 minutes, so because I have to go to work. So let's maybe we can fit in one dungeon before I have to go to work. Okay. Anyway, so if we're looking at the new expansion, Azeroth, we talked about that, has her own talent tree. Players can help her training her via this tree. Each talent is also usable by players through the world bond ability. Weird. Each talent is also usable by players. So as you teach and train Azeroth, some of those abilities you'll be able to use via the world bond ability. I like it. Hey, Ruby, I mean, so you've read this, Ruby? Christopher, Chris, I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, no, I like where they're going, and like I said before, if you guys haven't read the novel Rhapsody by Elizabeth Hayden, you really should read it because there's some really cool stuff in there, and some of the stuff they're doing, some of it a little bit reminds me of that book. But I really like. Actually, I need to go back and reread that novel. I hope I have a copy of it here. I think I do. If I don't, I'll buy it again. But I really need to reread that. I want to write my own book when I retire. I want to write my own novel as a exercise for developing my own game. And that writing my own novel is kind of like my exercise for developing the lore. And actually, I was going back and I bought a really old copy. I'm on tangent highway today. I bought a really old copy of Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, and it was really cool because in the appendix it actually talked about all the languages and the lore and then the world maps and even the history, the family trees of the hobbits. And I would love to be able to do an exercise where I do the same type of thing that that Tolkien did, but of course Tolkien spent 20 years creating all that stuff. And when I retire, I'll probably be 64 or something, and I don't think I'm going to have 20 years to dedicate to my own book, but maybe I will. Who knows? People in my family live to be like 90 and 100. My mom's 85 right now, so maybe I will have time. But I would love to put together something really cool, like my own book and my own game. But definitely, at the very least, I want to create my own world that would be the background for my own game. So you watched Asmon's video, sort of going in classic WoW direction. You're happy with anything, to be fair, as long as it's not Shadowlands. Yeah, Ruby, I think. I mean, just looking at this, and the reason I started looking at this is because I started watching this when I was still in bed. I was actually lying in bed when my friend texted me because his sister actually passed away a couple days ago, and he was texting me about that, and then to try to bring some levity into the situation and make him feel better, I said, you should watch this Asmon video because in the first few minutes he talks about how he stayed up till 6 a.m. jerking off. I'm like, freaking Asmongold, the guy's a weird guy. But I saw this video and I got up out of bed and I said, you know what, I want to talk about this a little bit myself. I want to read. I didn't watch the whole video. I didn't watch the whole Asmon video, so I wanted to look at it before. I didn't want to watch Asmongold's take on it because I didn't want to be polluted by his opinions. I wanted to read it myself and kind of see how I felt about it as I read it. So anyway, so that's the world bond. I'm not really super happy with the world bond thing of it. I don't really want to build her talent tree and then use her abilities because to me that's another paralytic system, meaning that in this expansion, maybe think about it. Let's say Azeroth has her own talent tree. It looks like an old school talent tree from Classic. We help her by training her via this talent tree, and then each talent is also usable players through the world bond ability. Well, what's going to happen in the next expansion? Are we still going to be using talents from her? No, we're not. So that's the classic example of a paralytic system, and which is a buzzword these days. And so I'm not really happy about this, to be honest. I think, I don't really like this. I think characters in MMOs should have their own abilities and their own talents. I don't think they should be borrowing from other people. I don't like that. I want as a character in a game, I want to feel self-contained. I'm my own person. I have my own identity. I have my own abilities. Decisions I make are mine. That's the way I want to approach it. I want to approach it like I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons. I always refer to Dungeons and Dragons because Dungeons and Dragons is the god where all this started. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons is where MMOs really came from, right? And so I don't like sharing my talents with something that I got from somebody else. Now, if it's just a temporary thing where they say maybe like through certain events, like story scripted events in the game that we can use it, that's okay. I'm fine with that. But I don't want it to be something that I can use at any point in that expansion, because then when the next expansion comes out, I'm sure I won't be able to use it anymore. So that's going to feel really weird to me. So new abilities are like covenant abilities. Yeah, I'm not, again, that's why I wasn't really big with covenant abilities, because again, it's kind of weird. I'm not sure I really like that. Everyone gets the same abilities. Abilities have secondary effects. Okay, so they're supposedly continuing on with this covenant stuff, which again I'm not super happy about. The Dragon Isle zones will change over time via world shaping. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Some pretty cool massive changes like whole zone turning from a desert into a forest. I like that idea a lot. Zone is heavily elf focused. With I love night elves, of course. I'm huge. Trying to discover a way to restore Teldrassil. I love that because as you can see, my night elf has a scar on her face from the Teldrassil burning. That's the little lore behind her scar. Your plant trees discover a way to restore Teldrassil with Azeroth's help. You plant trees and tend a huge forest. That is awesome. Love it. I'm a tree lover. I'm a tree hugger. I can't help it. I love nature. I love nature. I love trees. So to be able to plant trees and tend to a huge forest in the game, super excited about that. Like a massive version of a Mist of Pandaria farm. Love it. Love it. Love it. This is fantastic. I hope this is real because I would absolutely love this. World shaping unlocks new abilities in each zone. Water walking, flying, teleport. This is okay. I don't have a problem with this because it's zone based. That I don't have a problem with at all. That's okay. Some older zone in these games calendar will be getting big updates during the expansion. That's fine. Black Dragons. So this is the new race. Yeah, we're okay. Here's the dungeon. Let's see if we get in. Yeah, if you can customize your own forest, it'd be super cool. I mean, I love like housing and stuff, and I've always and people have said all the time. I mean, especially with Final Fantasy becoming so popular, one of the biggest knocks on World of Warcraft is the lack of player housing, and really Blizzard should address this and really should try very hard to put player housing. Oh, I hate this dungeon. I do not like this dungeon. I don't like this dungeon, but they should try to put in player housing. You know.
This is the place. I can feel the power of these relics.
Yeah, shut it, Bram. Why am I moving so slowly? Weird. Fire Mage is awesome. I love the Fire Mage. Ah, fear. Yeah, he's got me. I'm gonna take a potion. How many potions do I have? I need to be careful with my potions, probably. He just doesn't like me. I'm gonna die. Like, is nobody in the party gonna help me? They're just like, yeah, let this guy die, you know what I mean?
Rezan was a powerful Loa. Perhaps you.
I felt like the
may
healer
worth
didn't like me.
sacrifice for Zul.
I felt like the healer didn't like me too much because I wasn't getting many heals there. She's like, I don't like these fire mages. But I had to use a healing potion, and I've only got... How many do I don't have that many. Where'd they go? I lost them. Where'd you guys go? Damn it, I knew he was gonna hex me. I always target the fire mage. You know what I mean? Why do they... I don't...
Alune be praised.
You're playing a Smite Priest? Turtle Wild's pretty cool. I just can't... The Turtle Wild client always crashes on me for some reason.
Master, I want your bones! You die with master gonna build me again.
Boltal, in pieces again.
What's up, Matthew?
No matter. I can rebuild him. But when you die, there will be no coming back.
You need to show these ones. Just don't make an ash out of yourself. Yep. Thanks, Matthew, for the subscription. Appreciate it, man.
Servants of Yasma are not welcome here. Ataldazar's power flows through me. Corruption be purified.
What is this? I don't know what this corruption does.
My claws will find your heart.
I don't like the sound of that. Don't find my heart. Hey, Chris. No, not normally. I'd usually just on YouTube.
Corruption be purified.
Okay, people are running away.
Ataldazar's power flows through
Boom!
me. Must be
My thanks for killing the priestess. You have only succeeded in strengthening my hold on the temple.
What is this? Held in the offhand. Okay, I just walked right through fire. Good job, Jillian.
Impressive.
It's a good thing my shield was up.
Harder than I thought, but I will still be drinking your blood.
Oh.
The Tsar will awaken soon, but you will not live to see it.
Don't cast Soul Rend on me.
Let your soul be shattered. I will tear your soul apart.
What does Soul Rend do? I don't know. Oh, that was a good. The way to use your ability 10 miles too far away. Yes, awesome. Oh, she rends my soul. We're supposed to kill the rent soul, right? Is that what it is?
Fools, Zul will rip your spirits apart.
I think that's it. Oh, I reached level 42. Middle House Metastar. How come I left group and I didn't go anywhere? Oh, there we go. You didn't know WoW had Driders? Hmm. The spiders, you mean? Alright, so I've only got a couple minutes, guys, before I go back to work. So let's see if we can see what else. Always thought Fire was better. You're playing Smite Priest. Yeah, Smite's fun. I like Smite. Everyone's doing Frost at the moment in your guild. Yeah, Frost is good for PvE. Yeah, Frost is good. Frost Mage is good for PvE, pretty much. The reason I'm doing Fire Mage is because Fire Mage is like really good for PvP. So, and I like to PvP. So, I thought, and plus Fire just looks like fun. I really like Fire. It's fun. I don't stream on Twitch because you need something to do with your Twitch Prime. I have Twitch. Like I have Twitch Prime. Actually. I have a Twitch account. I just don't stream there much. One of my goals this year was to grow my channel a little bit more. So you can see here.
Maybe Benny, yes, it is the final.
I don't even understand Twitch, to be honest. There's so much crap. Every time you go to Twitch, it's like, what is all this junk? But if you go to my Twitch channel, here it is. It's just, I'm caffeine injected, copy address. So there's my Twitch. And you can see I've got 16 followers, so I haven't really used it much. But feel free to follow me on Twitch if you want. I'll start putting it in the stream. I should start streaming on Twitch more because there's just more stuff in place for people to promote your Twitch channel. People can't really promote your YouTube channel directly or like host your stream. So, something that I might do this year is I may stream more on Twitch. I don't know. I should. But most people know me from YouTube, so if I stream on Twitch, no one's ever there. You know what I mean? It's like I'm streaming and there's like nobody watching me. But if I stream on YouTube, people watch me. So I need to get all the people that know me on YouTube to follow me on Twitch. Maybe that'll help me grow the channel some more. But back to the WoW expansion, the leak expansion. So, and the last section that we haven't just enough time to talk about before I have to go to work is the new race, the Black Dragons. And it was funny because I said I hope it works like the Worgen. I actually said that earlier in this stream, and it sounds like it is. It says right here, works like Worgen. Customize your dragon form and humanoid appearance. So this I'm really happy about. I actually said this already up top before I even got to this far. I said I hope that this new Black Dragon race works like the Worgen. And I hope that you're in your dragon form probably when you're fighting, but when you are walking around the world, you can choose to be in humanoid form. Humanoid can be any race. Wow, look at that. The humanoid can be any race, including allied races. That's super cool. Extra customization options for humanoids form, including horns, tails. You can have tails as a human. That's weird. Scales. I like scales. As well as looks like burning eyes and molten blood. One of the things I always wanted to make in my MMO, if I ever made my own MMO, one of the reasons I was working on, well, I don't really want to give it away too much. Maybe I'll do a video on that at another time. Dragon form is mainly used for travel and 2 racial abilities. Oh, so you're not in dragon form? It says it's used mainly for travel and 2 racials. Story will explain why black dragons need to learn how to fight like mortals. Okay, so this is weird. So and I can understand why Blizzard did it. And this makes me think the link. Okay, this makes me think the link has more validity to it because as a developer, creating a new race takes time. If they had to make all the animations and the combat work while you were in the dragon form, it takes more work, right? The Worgen was easy. Remember when they did Worgens because they already had Worgens in the game. They had Worgens NPCs in the game, so they already had Worgen like kind of certain. A lot of those animations were already there. But if they do black dragons as a race and you're in dragon form, then they would have to create all new stuff, which takes longer. So being able to say, okay, the dragons are going to fight in humanoid form means they don't have to recreate all those animations. So that's obviously why they do that. That way they can get a new race in place. So that all this right here makes me think that this is a real leak because these are all exactly what Blizzard would do. It's either a real leak or these people are just really smart. You know, they know what they're, you know, they know how to make it look like it's a real leak. But all this makes sense. Everything I've read here makes perfect sense. I could totally see this being the next expansion. Black dragons can be warrior, mage. Can we be a druid? Yeah, sweet. You can be a druid. That's awesome. Oh, you can be a paladin. Oh, a black dragon paladin. Thanks, Christopher. I appreciate it, man. I don't even know. I don't use Twitch. I don't even know how to get affiliated. Don't I have to have so many? Do I have to have so many followers, or how does? I don't know. I'll figure that out later. But you can be a paladin. That's cool. All regional WoW classes, so you can be any class. Black Dragon, Druid lore, and shapeshift forms are super fun. Druid lore. That's interesting. Yeah, I immediately was intrigued by Black Dragons coupled with Druid. I don't know why, but in my mind, that just seemed like this could be interesting. The shapeshift forms are super fun. This sounds really, really cool, and I can see if this is true, going to be a hell of a lot of Black Dragon Druids. Wrathion has been trying to restore the Black Dragon fight since Kata. Players are new dragons that Wrathion has been overseeing in the Dragon Isles. Wrathion has recruited kidnapped class trainers from all around to train his new flight. The Warlock trainer will cause some players to flip out. Since the battle with Deathwing, all dragon aspects have been losing their magic. New dragon players need to learn how to fight alongside mortal races to save their race. Wrathion's big thing is reversing the loss of magic from dragons completely and protecting his flight. No big bad in 10.0, but there are infinite... Okay, so there's no big bad dragon. There are infinite dragons. Netherwing and some new dragon isles, specific proto races. There's a pretty fun Trog progenitor race that's actually super advanced and intelligent. Going back to smaller zone contains stories. That's cool. This is cool. So smaller, it's like each individual zone might have its own little story. Big focus on discovery, soft rebooting Azeroth, the planet, and setting up future conflicts. I like it. I think everything I read here is pretty good. The only thing I didn't like was this. That as you train Azeroth's talents, that you then can use her talents with the World Bond ability. I'm not a big fan of this one because I feel like that's only going to be usable in this expansion. It'll completely go away in the next expansion, and I'm not a fan of those types of mechanics. I think when players learn something, it should be very difficult to learn, but they should keep it throughout the life of their character. It's all about character growth. So I'm not really a big fan of that. But everything else looks really cool. Yeah. So...
day, like I stayed up randomly. I'm not even kidding, guys. I stayed up until
yeah, we got to put in Asmongold's words of wisdom here.
like 6 in the morning, jerking off.
There you go. Asmongold's words of wisdom of the day. He stayed up till 6 in the morning, jerking off.
Like straight up, like that's what happened. I have no shame in this.
Oh my god. 5 people watching in chat and interacting. 5 people watching in chat interacting at the same time. Oh, it's just 5 people watching in chat and interacting at the same time to get affiliated? That's it? Doesn't seem like a whole lot. Do I have like a fire pet? I need like a. We need to increase our fire stuff here, yeah. Well, we've got a core fire imp. That's not really what I'm going for. Oh. Oh, we got Knight Captain Murky. We have a little Nefarian, and he does shoot fire out every so often. We got the Molten Corgi. I don't really think the Molten Corgi is... I mean, he's got some fire looking... I mean, I guess. Kind of goes with the theme, you know? He's molten and fiery just like I am, I guess. What else we got? Wait a minute. I didn't know I had a Sister of Temptation that had a different skin. Huh.
Couldn't resist, could you?
No, it doesn't look like she's got a different skin here, but for some reason, here she did. That's weird. The mini Ragnaros? Yeah, I don't have the mini Ragnaros, I don't think. You have to be like an original... Buy the original vanilla, like, collector's edition, right? I think. Get the mini Ragnaros. Floating skull. Orange tabby. I like kitties. With the Proto Jake. This is a good pet because it's pretty big. Whoa. Do I have... I don't really have a Proto... I don't think I have a Proto Drake, do I? Man, I don't have a Proto Drake? That's kind of... I really never spent a lot of time trying to collect mounts in WoW, so I don't have the best mount library. I do have the fishing mount. Check it out. Yeah, I don't have the best mounts. It's funny how little dragon mounts I have. You know, I don't have a lot of dragon mounts. All right, I'll see you, Chris. I'm off too. I'm off too, guys. I got to get to work. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Russell with the Spuns. So I didn't see that. Rose, he said the reason they don't like me is because I'm on fire with my DPS. Actually, you'll see that as a fire mage, I don't usually do very good DPS in dungeon runs. I'm gonna usually end up like 3rd or 4th on the meter. You know, I'm not like completely like garbage. I mean, I still do damage, but it's not, you know, it's not as much. It just isn't as much. Let's go to. Actually, no. But anyways, yeah. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day, everybody. Peace out. I'll stream hopefully maybe tonight. Depends. My wife's probably coming home today from her mom's house, so probably be doing stuff with you know, with seeing how she's doing, and I may not stream tonight until like, you know, later, around like 10 o'clock Eastern time. 8 between 8 and 10 Eastern time would be when I would probably start if I did start. All right. Peace out. Bye bye.